The case of 5 of the 7 suspects linked to the murder of rapper Kiernan aka Forbes has been postponed to the 14th of March. Aka and his friend Tebello Motsoane were gunned down outside a Durban restaurant in February last year. Our reporter Jayde Paulse is part of our team in court for us. She joins us now live. Jayde, this was a brief appearance, no surprises, but we also heard of new counts being added to the charges.
Well, yes, Leander, earlier on when we spoke, I did say that it's going to be a very short court appearance and then it's going to be postponed. And now we know that it's going to be postponed and to the 14th of March. But looking at those 2 counts that you speak of, 2 counts, 2 charges added to accused number 4, Mr. Gwabeni. We do know that he was the coordinator and said mastermind behind the plot to kill aka and Tibz. And then another count to accuse 1, 2 and 5, those being Lindokuhle Mkwanazi, Lindani Ndamande and Lindokuhle Ndamande, the Ndamande brothers, linked or allegedly linked to being taxi bosses in Durban area. And if we just look at these counts, these are very important charges because this basically links the coordinator and the mastermind to the spotters and to possibly those that pulled the trigger. But to just break this down for us more, I am going to bring in Abigail Ngobeni, our legal expert, to talk to us about what exactly State Prosecutor Alvis Kweke is doing in terms of adding these 2 charges and possibly linking them all together.
It could have been that in the previous appearance, such charges were not in the charge sheet, so he added those charges to show that these are the money laundering charges, where it appears that there has been a split of proceeds, and part of the charges speaks to using the proceeds of crime. That as well, it's punishable under law. So these are the charges that are added against these particular accused persons that we have mentioned earlier.
And if we look at the paper trail as well, the first charge being to Mr. Ngwabeni, who is said to be a businessman here, an alleged mining boss here, and coordinator, and the mastermind, or said mastermind behind this, who actually split the proceeds between 1, 2, and 5, being Lindokuhle, Lindani, and Lindokuhle. This
is an interesting part of the investigation. It shows that the state, there's somewhere they are going, because such kind of evidence, it could be an evidence that requires a lot of work. You need to be able to check and trace how money movement happened, and if they were able to crack on where this money was received, how it was paid, it means we are getting closer to finding the actual truth of what exactly happened. And this is what we want. We want to see the matter moving. We want to see evidence coming to court being tested, and this matter be finalized speedily.
And it's very interesting to see how the state is literally building their case in terms of the paper trail, the movement of the money. Very interesting to see. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Abigail Ngobeni, our legal expert. We also did hear Ayanda that accused number 3, so lawyer, is no longer going to be representing Yolanda Gilly. We're going to try and see if my colleague over there is done speaking to, if we can just rope her in. I said that she's still busy there. But anyway, coming back to this point, the accused number 3, Yolanda Glitz, she was representing Eddie Mayeza. There was another accused that she was representing. Let's see if my colleague is done. Thank you so much for joining us. You're live on SABC News. Just talk to us about, only representing accused number 3, Eddie Mayeza.
Yes, only accused number 3, yes.
And why is that? What happened with the other accused, accused number 5?
Normally what happens is when persons are arrested, their families would phone attorneys for help. So the family initially got hold of me, and then I came and assisted, and I handed accused number 5 over to be arrested on the 5th, I can't remember, a day before we had our first appearance. And then we had our first appearance, but then today I was advised that the family, because they had been with Mr. Dlamini as well before, that number 5 will be with Mr. Dlamini. So I withdrew from him, and Mr. Dlamini is representing, so I'm only representing accused number 3, yes.
And if we talk about accused number 3, in terms of being on the indictment, I know we can't go into the nitty-gritties of this, but the charges against him.
In this matter, it's conspiracy to murder, and then the murder of 2 persons, attempted murder of 5 persons, I'm presuming it's bystanders, unlawful possession of firearms, ammunition, and then there's 2 new charges, money laundering. Count number 11 is for only 1 accused, and then count number 12 pertains to mine, where that's money laundering, which I can't see, but I can't see that it's relevant here, how money laundering fits into this. But we'll have to ask further questions and see where we can go with that.
And it's said that he is an alleged taxi boss.
My accused. His dad was a taxi owner. His dad passed away. He's not running taxi routes now. The family might have taken and carried on, but no, he's not himself. A lot of the guys are taxi owners, but no, he's not running a taxi per se.
Thank you so much for talking to us, Attorney Yolanda Gillitz, representing accused number 3, Eddie Miyeza, not going to the merits of the case, but really just talking to about her client. There has been, these rumors that were circulating and information that came out, Ayanda, and I'm sure you've seen it as well, that some of the accused are in the taxi industry, and really just trying to pin all this to this particular case. Where does it exactly fit in, the roles they played in orchestrating the plot to kill AKA Kiernan Forbes? Ayanda.
Yeah, and Jayde, there's been a number of statements being made about what the way forward looks like. I mean, when this case initially started, we're given a number of dates, right? The 14th was one of them. Then there was the 18th and the 19th of March as well. Do you have any kind of clarity around what's meant to happen at that time?
Okay, so when we go back to court on the 14th of March, it has been postponed now next week. We foresee that's when the bail applications will possibly come to the fore. We dealt with bail verifications slightly, not really going into the nitty-gritties of each accused. And then thereafter, it's possible that it's going to be postponed again to the 18th and then on the 18th and then the 19th of March as well. So I foresee, Ayanda, on the 14th, it will be pretty much like this morning, very short court appearance, and then postponed to the 18th and the 19th of March for bail.